This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
With the top end of Stevenson, Greeno!
Welcome to Football Daft, the daftest Scottish football podcast around. My name's Stephen Purden, and let's welcome the team. First, a man who is lucky to be here, who nearly never made it here today. He had a terrible accident the other night and he's suffering, but he's out his sick bed. He's here. It is none other than the hardest man in Scotland. It's Chris Toll. Chris,
what's
talk
happening,
us through
lads?
it. You okay, mate?
Aye,
You alright, mate?
So I took the dog out the other night, just when the snow started. Right, so there was just a small spattering.
A sprinkle.
A sprinkle of snow. Right, but what I didn't realise was it was fucking a sheet of ice underneath it. So I've took the dog out, fucking Home Alone style, man. Legs up over my head, scalped my head off the fucking ground, man. Absolutely out for the count. When I woke up, couldn't move my arms. I thought my fucking dog's going to run away. But the wee legend just stayed beside me, licking my face to make sure I was alright. But I'm here. I've survived.
Hey. I'm glad you. I'm really. I've been worried about you.
What are you talking about? When I tell you he's on the group chat, are you done with laughing the whole fucking time?
And speaking of group chats,
We'll need to give him a wee. We'll maybe need to start a wee just giving for his injuries. You get any injuries you need to deal with anything like that? So
here, Toll.
Aye.
Did you know? Did you know? See in the group chat that one of your neighbours came in and seen you or something?
Aye, it was a guy that a guy I've known since I was away.
Did they bring a wee packet of sweeties on it?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, but I went to the doctors and he went like, "Where's
you went to the doctors for that? Must have been bad, mate.
No, but I went to the doctors. I says to him, "Listen, everywhere's sore." He says, "Show me." So I went, "They're sore. They're sore. They're sore." He says, "Oh, you broke your finger." There we go.
We're off and running.
You get me, you piper.
And now let's welcome a man who has been taking advantage of his beer machine, and the group chat has been non-stop every Saturday. He's been waking up Sunday morning with a few regrets here, there and everywhere. It is none other than Grado. Mate.
I'm getting rid of that, man.
Aye, mate. Do you know what, mate? It's good, mate, but see, sometimes you're kind of sitting there, man, you're like, you might watch your telly, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, shut up, Grado. Shut up. I mean,
did I send you me singing Marvin Gaye and all that? No. Ain't no sunshine. Did I not send you that? Fuck. No. It's a red night. A day. You're right, man. It's embarrassing. I put my hand up. It is. That's it. It's getting back, man.
Hey, mate, you're enjoying yourself.
What the fuck? There's nothing else today. Literally, see when I tell you what, Monday to Friday's no bad because I'm working, right? But see these weekends, man, it's a graft. It's a graft. There's fuck all else today. Sitting bevy. Anyway.
You ever thought about getting a board game?
What?
Ever thought about getting a board game?
Yeah, just mate, when you're in the state you're in, but when your voice notes, just watch if you're at walking the dog and all that. We don't want you being a Chris Toll, you know what I mean? Just fucking.
Aye,
Chris Toll look me his bodyguard, man. He's Lazar up, so. His security team.
Fuck yous, man. Fuck yous in the ear. Right in the ear. You just don't understand. I've got a skeletal condition.
I know, mate. No, I wasn't saying because
No, listen. You're
Come on.
sitting there laughing at me. This is serious. I could have been dead.
I know, mate. I know.
Hashtag pray for Toll.
I pray for Toll, man. Right.
God
Let's move on. What's been happening in Scottish football, right? I woke up this morning. It's another day. It's another banner at Celtic Park. There's another banner this morning. There's another banner. This one says, what is it? It says, parasites, liars, charlatans. What are you making of that?
I think somebody's just standing there talking about favourite movies and bands.
What you thinking, mate? What you thinking? Another banner.
Listen, they're keeping fucking stationery box in business, aren't they? They
must be spending a fucking fortune on banners. I'm not joking.
I know, man. It's fucking. What do they expect? What are they trying to achieve with this?
You have picked up, man. I mean, you've closed the gap to 21 now after the weekend. You know what I mean?
Aye, well, that's fucking. Aye.
Would they But see, did you watch any of the weekend's football? Did you manage to catch your football?
Of course I did. I watched both games, Graham.
Mm. And
Yes.
do you think is the 10 back on?
Listen, I said that since like daft, right? I've got a feeling Rangers are going to hit a wee bit of the skids here for a wee while, and I think what worries me is
you were on Celtic daft about Rangers.
no, I was talking about Celtic.
I'm kidding on.
Right, but anyway, what I'm saying is, see if Rangers have a wee bit of a blip here, right, and drop a few points, and Celtic win their games in hand, and then Celtic manage to beat Rangers in the 2 games, right? It could bring it. Now, I don't think it will win the league, right? I don't think it will win the league. But what's terrifying me is the board go like that. Well, he nearly brought it back. We'll keep him for another season. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But do you know what? As a Rangers fan, right, it's like I put my hands up. I'm a panty wetter with this carry on, and the group chat's a murder. But it's still. The game on Sunday, I felt, as I've spoken about this in Rangers Daft, felt a lot better once I listened to the gaffer and McGregor. It's like even this week this nervous, man. Of course, Kelly, I've got a new manager for the weekend. You know what I mean? No, that I don't think Rangers can take 3 points, but it's
going to be one of the games.
Mate, we played Kelly in their fucking dog meat.
Oh, mate, they were so bad,
terrible.
Disorganised. The worst I've seen them in years. But
you know what it's like when a manager.
Yeah.
Aye.
He's got a full week to get them organised too, so it's not going to be a walk in the park.
That was unacceptable the weekend for us. It was
very
absolutely unacceptable. I mean, Hamilton had 7 shots in target. We had 2.
By the
McGregor's
way,
man of the match.
aye, if it's not for McGregor, Hamilton Ackies have turned you over.
100%.
Well, mate, we didn't deserve a draw.
No.
We did not deserve a draw. It was. I don't know if it's a mixture of we're starting to get a wee bit jittery, or we're going out there with the attitude, we've won this. The attitude's just all wrong. But Gerrard said it himself, he's got to take some of the blame, because when Davis and Jack came on, you seen it was night and day. Zungu, no good enough. Good enough.
No, I think this week, Gerrard, it'll be like the reaction to the other times we've dropped points. I think it'll be right up for it. We've got to come out guns blazing on Saturday. I think they will. I think they'll be G'd up, man. I've got no other option. They need to be. So.
Lads, you need to watch what you're saying about Zungu. All the South African folk will be after these.
Oh,
but mate, we've got the honours for the Cayman Islands, man. So we're all right.
Is that where we're number 1 podcast at the Cayman Islands?
Number 1 the Cayman Islands, not me. Isn't it, John?
Still is, yep.
Did you just check that there? Yeah, still number 1 the Cayman Islands.
Just check the Cayman iTunes charts there. Yeah, we're still flying high.
So, Mayor Scottish Football, right? The government announced that no decision will be made until March at the earliest for the lower leagues. What do you think is going to happen there? It's a bit of a sad situation, isn't it?
It's sad, but do you know what? It's like
it's necessary.
As I said, I've spoke to. I've got a pal that he plays with Arbroath now, and he
what's his name, mate?
Ricky Little.
What's his name?
Ricky Little. He's
How come you've never mentioned that he was your pal before?
What was very telling? What was very telling is he saying that he knows a lot of players that they don't like these. They don't like the
restrictions.
It's hard, man, for them to enjoy. It's hard for them to enjoy it because it's just not the same for them. Just
you know what? You can, even when you're not on the pitch, you can't even sit and talk to the folk that are beside you because you're about 4 or 5 seats away for everybody. You know what I mean? And they're getting changed in the fucking stands at the lower league games, and it's just that fuck that.
Here's a thing, right? I just started back work yesterday, right? But before that, obviously, I've been doing the homeschooling with the Wains. We're on lockdown, can't go anywhere. John, this is mostly for you. Football, Rangers, Tavernier mentioned it in his programme notes last week or the week before. He knows how much, he said he realised how much football is to a lot of people's mental health, all that kind of stuff, right? A hard week when I was in lockdown there, no working. My sole focus a lot of the time is the end of the week, a Saturday, Rangers game, watch your football. The football keeps you going. John, I know you and your mates do a wee Zoom call and you still get together for the Falkirk game. How hard is it for you knowing you've no football at the end of the week?
It's really hard. It's really hard. And I mean, there doesn't seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel for us in the lower leagues. You know, you got to feel for Thistle supporters as well. You know, they're down there. And I honestly can't see the leagues restarting. unless they're going to run into summer football, which I don't know if that'll be an option. But I mean, it means the likes of Falkirk, we're going to be stuck down for a second year running. And Thistle will be bailing as well, because they would have had the chance of going up, as would, like, you go down to, like Cove Rangers and stuff in League Two.
Cove Rangers, aye.
But John, surely you're talking about the summer football. Why that should be... Why can they not do that? That should be happening. They shouldn't play on to July. What's the crack with that?
I agree with you, Grado. The only problem is we've got the Euros.
And then FIFA come into it then, the FIFA come into it. So I don't know if that's feasible or not.
See,
but
anything that's going to take viewing figures away from the Euros, UEFA will put the kibosh on.
But surely it's extraordinary circumstances where they should be able to go at that at this point. You're talking about the clubs need it. They need.
Well, there's a lot of talk of the players actually wanting to abandon the Euros. But a lot of players are worried about it. Do you know
That'd be so Scotland. That would be so Scotland for that to happen.
Get into a tournament, it doesn't happen.
No, but imagine all the players pulled out for all the other teams, and all the Scottish players went, "Fuck it, this is our chance to win this bastard." Do you know what I mean? and we had our strongest squad, and all the rest were playing third division fucking players for their country. Yes,
do you know what you need to think about as well? But this is what I thought about in terms. I see some of the lower league football players. There'll be a lot of them that can't enjoy the football for the fact that it's not their full-time job, right? And they turn around and say in the Monday, by the way, I can't play. I can't come into my work today because I get exposed to COVID at the weekend. I need to be off for 2 weeks. Or at worst, it's a Tuesday. And
well, Grado, you'll know yourself. You'll know yourself as well. Being with your wrestling when you were working with the fire brigade. See if an outside... me as well, I've got my own shoot job as well, right? If something happens to me when I was doing the wrestling and I get injured and I couldn't go to my actual job, then I would get disciplined for that because exactly.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So your point's very valid.
Their priority, because their priority is just their business. You're part of that.
Aye, fucking go away and play football the weekend and all that. Wait to fuck. Do you know what I mean? 100%. So it's just hopefully there's light in the tunnel.
Hopefully, man. But I'm sure we'll get more football chat on the open line, no doubt. And this week, troops, we are taking a bow, son. Taking a bow. His legendary commentator and former Dundee United, Wolves, Everton, Rangers striker Andy Gray joins us on the show. Plus another contestant playing for Pies on the Player Profile Playoff. And on the big question, any comedy reasons you were sacked from a job off the back of none other than Jobbygate. Right, so our lovely sponsors is G4 Claims, and on the line we have none other than the boss, the head of G4 Claims, the one and only. It is Nicole. What's happening, doll?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Superb.
Not bad. How's it going? The snowy weather. You must be busy now. Must be a few accidents in the road.
Yes, we are. So, with G4 Claims, guys, if you have been involved in a non-fault accident, why would you want to claim against your own insurance? If your car is parked up outside your house and you're looking out your window and you see someone speeding down that hill in the black ice and they smash into your car, why do you want to pay your excess for that? Why do you want to tamper with your own insurance policy? No, you don't. You want to call G4 Claims because we can get your car repaired at an approved body shop and a body shop of your choice. If your car is written off, we will get a valuation for your car that you're happy with and make sure that's sent over to the third-party insurance, so the at-fault insurance company directly, and they will pay you that directly. And it means that your insurance is never affected. Your no-claims bonus is intact. You've got no excess to pay. All our services are totally free of charge to you. If I can't help you, I'll tell you, I can't help you. I'll certainly give you the best advice possible, but I can't help you. It's as simple as that. With all the black ice and the snow and things like that, there's loads. There's road traffic accidents at the moment. I don't think that anybody should be contacting their insurance, even if you think that you're not at fault or you are at fault. Always ask the question. It's free advice. Phone us and ask us. Tell us what happened. Don't listen to someone else telling you at the scene of the accident it's your fault when you're not sure. Get the question answered by phoning and getting the expert advice from me or one of my girls in my team. We're happy to help. So any accident at all, really, phone us first. And if we can't help you, will point you in the right direction. It's G4 claims, non-fault accidents, made easy.
Made easy. Hopefully that unfortunate bugger with the Tesla and the tune has been listening to this. Did you see that?
We just spoke about it at the bottom.
Guy with the Tesla, please set me up.
Welcome to the Football Daft Open Line, where anything goes. Questions you might want to ask this week: is Derek McInnes' time up at Aberdeen? Is Tommy Wright the right appointment at Kilmarnock? Or you might just want to come on and call Chris a shagger. It's entirely up to you, because anything goes on this open line. As usual, our panel of football experts are standing by. It's Stephen Keevins, Graham Guidi and Chris Delahunt. Now, we've got a very special caller on for our first call today. He's been in the news over the last week. You may remember him from Jobbygate. It's the one and only Hamilton commentator, Mr. Bobby Bullock, joining us on the open line.
There we go!
Mate, how you not sitting on the shitter?
Aye.
I don't need a shite all the time, you know.
Hey, you are the absolute, the talk and the fucking steamy. You're the first person not to get cancelled. You've been wiped.
I just come back for a walk with my mother there and the heating's pumped up and I was reading my magazine. I was falling asleep.
By the way, Bobby, we had some technical difficulties here. I do apologise about the time. But listen, mate, what's happening anyway? Is that no?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm all good. I'm sorry. I'm kind of fair oblivious to it all, to be honest with you.
Aye.
Because I don't go on social media very much of that.
Aye. Well, mate, talk us through the whole thing. What?
Who are you? What do you do with Hamilton? What's the crack? Again, I didn't mean that.
I'm actually an actor and filmmaker.
Brilliant.
Beyond all things, I love football. I've got a degree in sport health and exercise. Played football my days. Snapped my cruciate ligament when I was, and fucked my cartilage when I was 19. I put an end to that. So I'd been working down at Hamilton Accies, doing a lot of community work, doing some plays. Did a play called Drink for like their Alcoholics Anonymous and things like that. Antos and all other stuff, and then I got asked to do commentary because I were forced into live streaming because of obviously the COVID, so that forced their arm to do that. So I'm like, no bother. So I've come in and did that, and I'm a Rangers fan, so I think my commentary was sort of impartial, you know what I mean?
I'll see, to be honest with you, mate, it's no a change. A Rangers fan talking a load of shit. Know what I mean?
I know.
You get better. You get better part of that.
Come on.
Do you know what, mate? That was pure Charlie Nicholas, wasn't it? I apologise. I apologise for that
come
one.
on, you're the top dog at this stuff.
Bobby, you've got a new job, mate. You're co-hosting the Football Daft podcast with me and Grado now, mate. Toes fucking.
Do you know what? May as well just fucking make it a Rangers podcast anyway, you know what I mean?
I used to be a super sub back in the day anyway. The boys are struggling. The one score the winner, know what I mean?
So see, Bobby, so this happens, right? Obviously, you say what you said, right? How do you find out that folk are not happy? The Hamilton, what, did they phone you?
Aye, so I was, obviously I'm doing there almost on a voluntary basis, so I'm getting a couple of pound petrol money and that or what, no. So I'm doing loads of other stuff creatively, so as soon as I finish there, I'm fucking straight down the roads to go on with my stuff. So I stopped off at Asda to get a couple of things, and then I got a phone call for the chief executive. You've not left me much chance to save your neck here, am I? What are you talking about? And they're like, what am I talking about? You're talking about jobbies on. Like, I thought it was a laugh, you know. I had no idea there'd have been any repercussions. So I was very well, and then it all kicked off. It was actually Mel, my fiance, that was saying like fucking Jobbygate and all this is kicked off, and I'm like, I've not got a scoop. So at the end of the day, like I like doing the commentary, and it gave me a good excuse to watch more football. You know what I mean? So just say to Mel, I'm a commentator, I need to watch that. You know what I mean? Couple of
That's what I say. I know I do a podcast, I've got to watch this game.
Bobby, you're away to Asda to get your the old bloody Asda made pizza and all that, man. The pizza's in there. You don't even know you've went viral. Do you know what I mean?
No, didn't have a clue, mate. Didn't have a clue. And again, I've just had a wee look through some of the comments, like the day. To see, I stopped playing. Like, I like playing the Xbox and all that, blah blah. But I like writing and I like creating and that. So I feel guilty if I'm wasting any time because I wanted to be doing other things. So like the social media thing that I only follow
You're quite right, mate,
things that I'm interested in.
Definitely, mate.
Things that are going to inspire me or anything like that, because it's just fucking pure chaos in that sort of social media world.
So how did the conversation end then, Bobby? What did you say to him?
No, I'm good pals with them down there, you know what I mean? They do so much work for the community that goes under the radar.
Was you involved in the panel thing at Christmas? I remember hearing.
I was acting in it. I was Flesh Creep.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Flesh Creep. Brilliant.
Yeah. Did that again just to raise money for charity and all that. So it's like, all right, that.
Play Mr. Hanky this year at Christmas.
See the cop in there, mate. Right, I'm standing. Yankees fans don't understand, right? I'm standing in a wee hut about fucking 3 foot by 5 foot, right? In the middle of the park. It's not even got a window. It's just
in the middle of the park? Fuck's sake, do they need to play on you?
It's a day. No, you know what I mean? Well, a wee tower at the side, but so the worst equipment, right? Fucking the old heat set, old fucking Archie McPherson mic.
I love that.
Swept away!
I love that.
And like, right, and there's a wee mixing deck in front of you, and the rain and the wind is like flying in, and I'm like, I've got a folder, I'm covering the mixing deck, I've got this shit headphone on, I can't see half the park to my right. I'm using my mobile phone to see the team and see the timer. I can't even tell when the half's going to end. So you're doing all of this sort of stuff, and Hamilton Accies fans expect you to be fucking Sky TV.
Tell you this, funny you say that. We've got Andy Gray on the show. He's never missed a kick-off after taking a shite.
But it's funny because, mate, everybody knows about it. Yeah, I don't know.
Andy Gray's staying in Qatar. You know what I mean? He knew about it.
She's Qatar, mate.
So tell us this one. He was under the impression that you'd get your job back. Is that right enough?
No. Young fella, Nick's moved in. He's good. He's been chatting at the bit to get a wee shot.
His ass has been making buttons to get a shot.
He would have liked it. He would have liked it, man. Seen all that. But I hope it's not caused any, like, because I'm laughing away, like, you seen you lose your job. I hope that's not going to, is it going to affect you, like, financially?
No, I was doing it, basically I was getting about 60 quid per sometimes, like, the confusion was...
That's all right, John, we need to talk.
Anyway, long story short, I had to go to, like, QTV or at Ibrox for some games because, like, if it's a Rangers Celtic game or even one of the Highland teams come in, then the TV company comes to Hamilton Accies and take over. So one day I'd be Ibrox, the next Wednesday I'd be Hamilton, the next Saturday I'd be Hamilton, then I'd be Ibrox. And remember, like, I'm getting like no money to do this, right? So I'll go and just analyse the football. So I went to Ibrox instead, and I should have been at Hamilton Accies. So it was all a bit of a farce. Turned up there late.
Aye.
Left my mobile phone in the car, left my wallet in the phone. I need my mobile to check some stats and all that shit. And then, so at half time, I'm like, I'll run out and get my phone, get my bottle of water, go in the car, belly rumble. One of the belly rumbles, you know what I mean? You don't want to be commentating for a full second half, no knowing what's going to happen if you hear me. Anyway, so got up to the commentary. I was late. I couldn't run around because you need to walk around the park again and kicked after. I can't be running around the park while all the players are like, who's this daft running around the park? Go up, and then that way when you're late for your work or whatever, you look for an excuse. And I'm like, what do I like to lie for? My mother's like, all my life, honesty's the best policy, son. So it was like, well, and then I was about to say it, I'm like, right, there'll be Wayne's watching this, so I'll need to use the right language. Didn't like to say shit or shite. So I needed a jobby. And then I sort of get Tony's reaction beside me. He was like, kind of having a wee chuckle. And then I was like, maybe jobbies deemed a bad word in some maybe middle class hussies. So I was like, there's just a wee poop. And then he's like, he's speaking in vernacular here, and I'm like, all right, does that mean like how come you were away for 15 minutes? And then I was like, well, I had to squeeze a wee bit harder than usual, sort of thing. That was it. I just commentated for the rest of the game, and then as I say, it's went. But at least it's brought a little bit of laughs, mate, because that was far too serious, man. Fans are
plus, mate, in the current climate, the way things are now, everybody needs a laugh.
And do you know what? You're the only person that I've no read a negative comment about. Everybody's got your back on this one, mate.
Because see what it is, it's totally harmless, man. It was totally
exactly
harmless.
It is. And I think the chief executive of Hamilton, if you're listening, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're not been for a jobby, know what I mean?
Exactly.
I hope he's get relegated.
Brilliant, Bobby. Thank you so much for coming on, and we're starting the campaign right here in Football Daft. Give Bobby back his jobby. That's what we're
doing. There we go. Yes.
Or get me commentating down at Ibrox.
Me and Grado are pals with Tom, mate. Can't do that to Tom.
I bet you Clyde Tilsley will be on.
What a guy. I met him actually. I was lucky enough to commentate down at Ibrox at the 8-0 game. Man, it's the only time in my life I've been absolutely willing Rangers not to score. Man, no, mate. Commentating for Hamilton, what I mean, I've got to be positive.
No score 8 times?
Aye, 8-0, man.
8-0. Brilliant. But it was quite surreal for him. Used to go to the games, so it was quite surreal.
Brilliant, man.
Guys, man, thanks very much for having us on.
Hey, buddy. Cheers,
mate.
Thanks, Bobby. Let's move on to our next caller on the open line. It is Stuart.
How you doing, Stuart?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm a Rangers fan. That's a refreshing change, mate, on this show.
Fuck's sake,
man. Just for Chris,
Stuart, you're more than welcome to wear it, mate. I'm just sick, fed up with every single person that comes on being a Rangers fan now, man.
Even the Hamilton commentator.
Even the Hamilton commentator was a Rangers supporter.
Stuart, you're through the panel. What would you like to say?
I suppose it's a question for everyone. Like, I'm from the Shetland Islands, so I don't know if you know.
Shetland?
Right up north. And because of that, I don't get down to many games.
Right.
And I've spoken to people before that have kind of said, you know, because you're not coming down on a supporters bus every weekend, you know, you're not as much of a fan, or
fuck off. What a shame.
I guess I was just wondering what your kind of views on that were. Like, I know there's obviously fans from America all across the world. Yep. Like, do you think you need to be going to games constantly to say you're a fan?
Right, I've got thoughts on this, right? Can I just jump in here, lads, right? I've always separated the word fan from supporter. Right? Now, the reason being, if you're a supporter, you're putting money into the club, right? You're buying your shirts, you're buying your season ticket and stuff like that. I can see there, Stuart, you've got a Rangers jersey on, right? So you're obviously putting money into the club, right? Mm-hmm. So you're a Rangers supporter, mate. There's nobody can change that. Right? Now, somebody that's a fan is a person that sits in the house and watches the game and doesn't put anything into the club or anything like that. It doesn't make you any less a fan than a supporter, but for me, the two different words are separate.
Aye,
definitely. I think it just comes down to finances and obviously logistics. Like yourself, mate, you can't get down to the game. There's a lot of people, like my mate, I've got a pal who's got 4 Waynes and they want to go to the games. Now, he can't afford 4 season tickets and his season ticket. That's ridiculous.
And you can't just take one, Bob.
No, exactly, mate. You can't say that I'm taking you this week. So there's so many reasons. If you're a fan of Rangers, support Rangers, whatever, Celtic, whatever. I slag Grado because he doesn't go to the game sometimes. It doesn't make me think he's no less a supporter than me. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm saying when you don't go to the game sometimes, I slag his banter, but you're still a Rangers fan, you're still a Rangers supporter.
What are you talking about, Grado? You've not been to a game for about a year.
No, I mean, 100%, and it's like, you don't have to watch that, the likes of like the Liverpool documentary that was on, I don't know if it was on BBC or Sky, and it's showing you all the Liverpool fans in India and all over the world, and they stay up, and even wrestling in America, like MVP, Man United die hard. I mean, he's been to about 2 games only when he could get to the UK to wrestle. Same way Eddie Kingston with Liverpool, he's a wrestler, and they're all daft on it, constantly sitting looking at results and what's happening day to day. So you can't. I think it's maybe just you probably get a lot of shite because of it's Shetland Islands as well. Do you know what I mean? Right. I can imagine fans being
why do you not support your local team, Stuart?
Who is your local team?
Well, I mean, it would be Aberdeen because, I mean, we have a league, but
well, don't support them, mate. Don't support that, mate.
Is there no, like, Shetland Wanderers or somebody like that you can follow?
Not yet, no.
2-team league. Why don't you start a team? Fuck it.
How did you become a Rangers fan? Was it your parents, or is it?
Yeah, well, my old man's his family's originally from the Shawlands in Glasgow, so...
What happened? Did he get into a taxi one day and say Shawlands and the guy get mixed up?
Thanks very much for Stuart for coming on. Let's move on to our next caller. It's Jason. Jason, you're through to the panel. What would you like to say?
Who is that?
Right, lads.
Is that a Columbus Crew tap you've got on? Belter, mate. That's a belter.
You see the badge? You're psychic.
No, I just know my MLS, mate. Anyway, so how can we help you today?
Who plays for Columbus Crew, mate? Who plays for them?
Hang me, Columbus, John Columbus.
Christopher.
yes, Jason.
Jason, you're through to the panel. What would you like to say?
I've got a wee question. Well, I'm a bit pissed off, to be honest, because I've had a question for a few weeks now. I want to ask, and I was listening to another well-known footballing podcast this morning, which I won't mention the name of, and they were fucking speaking about it. So I feel like I've just stole their idea, but just put it out there that I had this idea first.
Right.
So question goes to the three of yous, and it's if you had to take every single player in the SPL and put them in a tournament or an island, some sort of death match, who would come out and tap? Who's the hardest man?
On SPL?
Yes, just SPL.
I'm going to say your man that played for Hamilton. What was his name again? He was a madman.
Well,
I think he plays for Hibs now or something like that.
Alex Gogic.
No, I'm getting mixed up.
He went for Hamilton Hibs.
I know, but he always used to have a right good battle with Scott Brown in the midfield. Baldy Heed, Scottish guy. Hard as fucking nails.
I know exactly who you mean, and I can't remember his name. Who is it?
A death match.
I'm going to say Morelos.
Oh, fuck off, I'd batter Morelos.
Darian McKinnon, Chris.
Darian McKinnon, aye. Darian McKinnon.
I'm going to say Morelos.
Big Duffy.
I
can't play football, but he's hard as fucking nails.
I know,
mate, he couldn't even fucking knock Sorrow out of the way. He bounced off Sorrow and tried to lay the
I'm going. Is Darian McKinnon still playing in the SPFL?
Well, is it current? Because you could say, I'm just thinking, I wouldn't like taking a dig off Rab Douglas.
Oh, no, he would knock into middle.
I'm going to take a wee fucking Widowmaker out of
But if I get back in time, we should go with current, man. Go back in time, you'd be here all day.
You were right,
go with current.
No, we wouldn't be here all day because Bobo Baldy would have killed everybody by the time we stopped talking.
Oh.
Maybe, but I don't know, man. I think we Rod Wallace, I took him.
Right, anyway, I'm going out on a limb. I'm saying Darian McKinnon.
Right, I'm saying Morelos.
I need... Fuck.
Morelos. Turn it up, you.
Just turn all used to.
I want to pick a goalie, but no, what do you think? What kind of goalies have we got these days? I don't know, I'm trying to pick a big centre-half.
Just pick somebody good over.
Morelos.
Hey, you picking, Jason?
I don't know. I just
picking Duffy, isn't he?
Big Duffy.
I think Scott Brown would smoke Duffy in about 2 seconds flat.
Maybe.
Good question.
That was good. Did I answer it?
Very much.
Thanks, Jason.
And that's it for this week's open line. Thanks to all our callers, especially Bobby Bullock. Give Bobby back his jobby is what we're saying.
Give Bobby back his jobby. Come on, guys. Come on.
Football Daft's big question.
Right, troops. After Jobbygate and poor Bobby Bullock getting the sack as Hamilton commentator, we thought we would ask, is there any comedy reasons you have been sacked from a job? Troops, you get any?
It's not really a comedy reason, but I went to my mate's mom's funeral, and when I come back, guy went like that to me, like, cheer up, it might never happen. And I flipped and went for him, and I get sacked for it.
The only job I wouldn't say I was sacked, but I had no option to get up because I was only young at the time. But I sold tablet and macaroon and what do you call that other, the pink coconut? You know, you're meant to give the guy a cut of what you made or whatever. By the end of the first week, I owed the guy £9 because I fucking every day I was getting torn into it, and I says, "Look, I owe you £9," and I just gave it up. That's all I say. That's all I can.
I like that. I didn't get the sack for the cruise. I had to leave because I got the job as Chelsea.
How do you do that? How do you get and do that?
Mate, I'd been to the audition and they kept slagging me because I never got any other auditions I went for, and I was like, right, boys, I need a wee early today. They're like, aye, on you go, man. See you soon. Come back in the next day. I was like, troops, this will be my last day. I got the job, but then when I left, I shot myself. It was only a 3-month contract. Phone my uncle and says, keep that job for us, but in case this doesn't work out.
On full time into that.
That's the thing, but you can't go into cruise in a shell suit.
No. Hey, mate, I'm older than what you think. Back in the days, you could, man, I'm telling you.
Hey, so we got it.
John, what about you? You haven't been sacked, John?
No, there's been a few times that I've almost been sacked. I gave away the holiday of a lifetime, money can't buy prize to the wrong person once on the radio.
Hey,
what happened there then?
Well, do you know what? We had to award it. We had to basically go back. The person that we gave it to on air took the holiday of a lifetime. And this, I don't know if you've ever heard this thing. It was the Miller jet, and basically you got put on a jet, flown around America, all the beer you could drink, Las Vegas, New York. You got to see all these exclusive gigs, Pink, Justin Timberlake. Money can't get you on this jet.
I think I actually entered that.
I gave it to the wrong person. So what we had to then do is the person that should have won it, we went back to him and said, basically, pick any holiday you want in the world. You can have it. And they picked like a trip away to the Caribbean. They had to get a 2-week holiday in the Caribbean.
That's brilliant, John.
I bet you were the flavour of the month that month, mate.
I know.
The week later, I crashed the company motor as well. What a life.
Right, some of our listeners, Douglas says, never got sacked, but when in the Royal Navy, I nearly got demoted after being caught doing a shite on the bonnet of an MOD police car after a night out in Plymouth. Blagged my way out of it with mistaken identity. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Thomas says, I pointed out a box of rotten vegetables in a delivery was shite. That was too much. Get binned for it.
Davey says, sacked, not exactly, but once we had to leave a job through embarrassment at an awards ceremony where I won a prestigious award, got hammered and told the area manager, I just want to eat you. During having a wee dance to Temperature by Sean Paul.
Oh, no.
Not my finest moment.
Yeah, wait a minute. Is that our Davey?
That is our Davey. You might have.
I fucking knew it.
This is the infamous beer and crisps.
Alan McLaren's story. That is our Davey.
Imagine that, right? Like fucking a works night out, and I just dance going, I just want to eat you out.
That guy has lived 1,000 lives, hasn't he?
Going to write a film about him, man. I'm telling you. For fuck's sake, man.
Just to worry about a sitcom.
The curious life of beer and crisps.
I love how he remembers that it was Temperature by Sean Paul.
James A says, never sacked. All these people are starting the stories with, I wasn't sacked, right? But
never sacked.
That's
like me.
But when I was at Setanta, I put out the highlights of Hearts versus St Mirren with a goal missing. Played it out at 5:15 on results programme, and Daryl Curry phoned me in.
That's brilliant.
To tell me.
That must be the guy that wrote these songs and all.
That's right.
James,
that's right. Brilliant.
That's fucking
you get an email, John? We get an email?
There's a couple on the email.
Yeah.
Mikey says, Hibs sacking the stadium announcer back in 2012 after playing the Beatles song Taxman. His Hearts were served with a winding up order at the time.
There's another belter there in the email.
Right, this one's a cracker, right, for Billy. It says, sacked for Burger King when I was 20. Had the keys to the place, so I took a bird there after the dancing for a good feed. All caught on CCTV. Suspended the next day, then sacked. What a time to be alive. That's brilliant.
That's the dream, innit?
Just go like that. Just go like, why go to Burger King? I got a shot. Doesn't matter, hen, man. You want some onion rings and that, man?
Fucking tanning chicken royales and all that.
I know, making up fancy burgers that they don't even sell, know what I mean? Like,
Chili cheese bites.
Just go like that to her, listen, sweetheart. It might take about half an hour, but I'll stick the ice cream machine on for you.
It's a player play off with piesports.com. They can sort you out with a taste of Scottish football. They do over 1 million pies a year at the games, and obviously we're missing that at the moment, so you can get pies delivered to your door to watch the games in the company of your mates and in your own home. Well, maybe not your mates because we're all in lockdown, but loads of great pies. And I saw this week, though, you like this one, boys, they've got a new pie up for grabs on piesports.com. It's a Scotch pie with mashed potato over the top and beans on top of it.
Oh, you fucker. That's a game changer.
So you can get that by calling their SOS hotline on 0141 739 9999, 0141 739 9999, or you can get them at piesports.com. They'll do deliveries of pies free of charge to a bunch of postcodes which you'll get on their website. So check that out, piesports.com. So on the line today, we have Craig, who's going to take on one of the boys. How you doing, Craig? You've been on before and you beat Grado.
Yep, that's right.
Must be one of the only ones that's beat me.
One of the few.
Hello?
One of the few.
I'll put. Oh yeah, never mind. I'll play him.
A rematch.
A rematch.
Because I've been sitting. I've been fucking taking on the plaudits for the last. I'd say easily a couple of months now. Folk have been coming and going, oh no, fucking great and all that. And I've been cool, man, whatever. But now I need to kind of. Now I need to.
Okay, man. That's one of the coolest stories told, mate.
Grado, I tell you what, I'm willing to put down a wager here, right? See if Craig beats you, I think you should buy me and Stevie some of the pies and all.
Aye.
Aye, man.
Aye.
Well,
great idea, man.
Grado, we're going back to the 98-99 season.
Oh, that's a wee bit difficult. Let me tell you about that, John, just quickly. Yep. It was the first season after a couple of seasons. Had a season ticket for 94, 95, and I think 98, 99 was the first season where my dad was paying that this year. So
But Grado, this was the ultimate season for you. Rangers won the treble and Kilwinning Juniors won the cup.
That's right, May 15th, 1999, you're right. We did win a treble that year as well, but I'm just saying, aye. And also my love of wrestling came into it. Anyway, just play it, fuck's sake, man.
Right, okay.
Nervous now.
Right, so you know the game by now. I'm going to read out a player. If you know the answer, you've got to buzz in. Grado, what's your buzzer this week?
I'll do. Just say
Right, okay. Craig, what's your buzzer?
I'm going to go for Coon.
Right. I know from the past you have to go.
I love it when we get the
look at that t-shirt yet now.
Coon. So, I'm going to read out a player description. Buzz in when you know the answer. If you do buzz in, no, you don't get to continue. First to 2 wins. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. This first player, after joining Hearts from Falkirk in 1995.
Oh, booty.
Craig.
Maybe we are.
Sorry, what? What's your answer? Wrong. I will continue.
Okay.
Oh.
This midfielder had a successful 7-year career at the Jambos. He was a key part to their cup-winning side in 1998 as he captained them to victory over Rangers due to an injury to regular captain Gary Locke. In this season, he earned his first Scotland call-up, although he earned under 21 caps while at Celtic, where he started his career. That is where Billy...
Wait, say that last wee bit again, when at Celtic, when he started his career again?
He started his career at Celtic. He earned under 21 caps, where he was...
Fulton!
Well done, Grado.
Yes.
1-0. Stevie Fulton. There you go. Next one to win for you, Grado. Come on, Craig. You need to get back into this. Here's the player. Having joined Dundee from Motherwell in this season, this forward went on to score several goals for the Denpart side as they returned to the Premier League. Alongside the likes of James Grady and Eddie Annand, he had... Craig. Wrong!
Who did he say?
Jim Hamilton.
Jim Hamilton.
Oh, that's a good guess, that, by the way.
Here we go. I'll continue. He had 3 years at the club and had previously been a bit of a cult hero for Celtic, coming on as a sub in the club's 95 Scottish Cup final win. After Dundee, he went on to play for St Johnstone and Clyde before returning back to Motherwell to coach the under-19s.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Christ.
Oh, no.
Do you ken it?
I don't ken this one.
I'm struggling, man.
I'm just trying to think Motherwell coach and think...
I'm Mickey Weir it here.
Right, John, going to tell me the clubs he played for?
Right, he's played for a lot of clubs. I've just mentioned a few, but most notably Motherwell. He started his career really at Celtic, and he's played for loads and loads of other clubs. St Johnstone, Clyde.
He came off the bench in the
95 cup final.
Is it? No, he started.
Do we not need to see a picture of the player, or do we just...
No, I will just move on to the next one.
Next
one. Pick yourselves. Willie Faulkner.
Oh, no! So annoying, man. Willie Faulkner, I fucking met him in Magaluf. 1995. I'm raging at that.
Okay, next player. Still in the game, Craig. After 6 years at Dundee United, this striker joined Aberdeen in this season on a transfer that saw Billy Dodds go the other way. You're in first, Craig.
Robbie Winters.
Ah, fuck, that's what I was going to say.
Correct, 1-1.
Fuck
right,
off, man.
Come on, Craig, you can do this.
This is the decider. I'll be fast on the buzzer here, Grado. This is right up your street. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You might guess it in the first few words here. You ready, boys? Mm-hmm. This French goalkeeper joined... Grado was in first.
Lionel Charbonnier.
Well done, Grado.
Yes! He used to always play the French national anthem before the games, not that when he was playing.
Unlucky, Craig.
That was a good game, mate. I tell you, it's money. See, when I'm involved in these games, it's money.
I'll tell you this, we need to get Craig on next week for the rubber match.
What's the rubber match?
You're a wrestler and you don't know what a rubber match is?
No.
So you know the decider?
Aye, it's a decider.
Aye. Because it's one each we used to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. Aye.
Right, okay, Craig. Well, I tell you what, we'll get you back on next week for the decider. In the meantime, if you want pies, head to piesports.com.
Let me tell you about this final runner. It's the official last person standing game in the UK. Just in case you don't know what it's about, basically what you do is you go up against a host of other players who all put money into a pot. You then pick a team from a set of football Premiership fixtures, and that team just has to win, and then you make it through to the next round of fixtures. The only one rule is you can't pick the same team twice. So, for example...
That sounds good, by the way.
So, for example, like for talking sake, right, say you, at the start of the season, you go like that, or Rangers are playing Motherwell, I'm going to pick Rangers. See, until the game's over, you then can't pick Rangers again for the rest of the season.
Oh, really?
Aye. Right. So, so
that is mad, by the way.
Right, so it's basically, obviously, the more entries that you get, the higher the prize money that you can win. So, if you want to get all your mates involved for the banter, and of course, bragging rights, the big deal. Bragging rights. If you're the last man standing, you're the all-knowledgeable oracle of your pals about football, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Aye. So, they've got 2 games that you can get stuck into. The first one's called Official Last Person Standing. It's a £5 to enter, and entries by midday on a Saturday, 20th of February. The second comp is called Have a Word, which starts the following Saturday, and that one's a £10 to enter, so it'll create a bigger pot, obviously. And we have a special football daft offer. As if you enter both, the guys at Final Runner will email you a free entry promo for another competition at a later date. So you get a free bottle of it later on. For all the details and how to get involved, head to finalrunner.com and you can set up an official last person standing game or get involved in their Have a Word game. Make sure you follow them on social media at finalrunner.com. So get involved now at finalrunner.com.
He's a player that played with Dundee United, Villa, Wolves to Everton. He was a no-nonsense striker who picked up 20 Scotland caps along the way. For many row, he is the voice of football himself. Please welcome Andy Gray. Andy, thanks for taking the time to do this, big man.
Pleasure, guys. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
What's the crack? Where are you right now?
I'm at home. I'm in my apartment in Qatar. Overlooking. Do you want to see where I am?
Aye.
Of course we do, man. Let's see it.
I'm in my apartment.
I bet you this is fancy as fuck.
No, I'm in my apartment. Just show you the view I've got every day I wake up.
Here we go.
And the World Cup comes here in 2022, lads. That's what will be greeting you.
It even sounds roasting. That is tremendous.
It even sounds roasting.
It does.
Andy, we've got about, if I go outside now, I just disappear because we've got about 5 feet of snow. You know what I mean? Aye.
Funny enough, I'm coming back tomorrow because it's not great. I've got to get the old knee replacement.
Right.
All caught up with me, so I'm getting that done. So I'm flying back tomorrow. So I'll be back in the snow with you guys.
I tell you what, you might need to check because he's no exaggerating when he says the amount of snow we've got. I'll show you,
really
right?
Bad, mate.
Check this. Hold on.
Hopefully I'm going to London, so I'm hoping that'll be all right.
You see that?
It'll be all right in London.
Oh God. That's a beautiful blue sky, same as here.
It's not the sky you need to be worrying about. It's what's underfoot. I fell and nearly killed myself the other night.
I know.
Oh, you're not talking about that again, Toe, man. You're milking that now.
Nearly had a fatality with Chris Toll through the week.
Nearly had one of the wee bits at the start of the show in memory of. You know what I mean?
So, Andy, what's life like in Qatar?
What is it like?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, lads, I mean, obviously life's very different for all of us the last 12 months. But they seem to be okay here. We've had a few infections go up, and but you know, things are okay. It's you can still go and have dinner at the restaurants are open. I've just played golf this morning. Don't get jealous. It was only about 25 degrees this morning, so we played golf this morning. Had a bit of lunch at the golf course. I'm going out for dinner with my missus tonight because it's our anniversary as well.
Happy anniversary!
Congratulations!
Thank you, boys.
Tell me, have you had your vaccination yet, Andy?
No, I haven't because I'm supposed to get it before I came back, but they're down to about people 50 and upwards now here. So I should have had it, but I've missed it for some reason. But I had COVID. I had COVID anyway.
Did you?
Yeah, I had it. September or something, and I didn't even know. I had no symptoms. I wasn't ill. I just had to quarantine here in my apartment for 2 weeks, and I did. And luckily, I was on my own. My missus wasn't here, so it was easy for me to do that.
Aye.
Tell me this one. See, when Richard Keys went to get it, is it true that when he took his top off, they says they don't test on animals?
Funny enough, right? Okay, now he was. I give you that. In his Sky days, he was extremely hairy. Yes, he would be the first. But in fairness, with the new systems they have now, the hair has all gone.
Really?
It's gone. Yeah. He's had a.
Bob, you need to find out about this.
I did.
And he's all that, you know, hands that he had and the chest and the back. That's all gone. So he's very, very happy about that.
See, I'm kind of, I need to get that because me and Grado, we do panto together quite a lot.
He's been a boat, man.
And I go to get changed into my costume. And we've not got time to manscape all the time, Andy. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So my back, I'm like, what's my back like, Grado? What
Oh, man, it's fucking, I hate it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't expect somebody that kind of wee in stature to have so much hair. It's just bizarre.
Well,
He's had to get a hair transplant on his head or not? I don't get it.
He was like that, but he's not anymore.
I think it's fell through Stevie's head and come out his arse.
No, can't help it, man. Can't help it. Anyway, Andy, looking back on your career, I mean, television, you're the voice of Super Sunday for me still to this day, man. But looking back on your playing career, what's the highlights when you look back? I mean, you've got to get your knee operation tomorrow. Looking back on your football career, what's the highlights?
Oh, I mean, okay, where do you want to start and how long have you got? It's a bit like that.
As long as you want, mate.
I mean, I was a Drumchapel boy, born and bred, and you know, had a vision or a desire to play football, and didn't think I would. Never thought it'd be good enough. So somebody said to me when I was 17, and I was travelling up to Dundee United for my first training session on the train, ready to start. If somebody had said to me that I would have won all I've won, that I would have, played for the club I supported as a boy, representing my country, and scored for both of them, scored in a FA Cup final, a League Cup final, a European final. If somebody had told me that's going to be what part of your career, I'd have said, piss off. That was stupid. It's only me. I've got no chance of that. So lots of highlights. But as I've said, listen, the fact that I did what every Rangers supporter wants to do, and that's play for the Terries, then that's up there. Of course it is. And I thought I'd missed out because I remember, when would it have been? It would have been after I finished playing that obviously Big Jock Wallace was still alive, and I went to play in a golf course. Went to play the golf tournament Jock was having in England.
Brilliant.
And I was sitting there having a chat with him, and he said, "You know, I tried to buy you." I said, "What?" He said, "I tried to buy you." I said, "When?" He said, "When you were at Dundee United."
Wow.
Jock was obviously manager of Rangers at the time.
Yes.
I said, "So what happened?" He said, "That wee bastard McLean wouldn't sell me to you." I said, "What?" He said, "Aye, wee bastard." He said, "No way. I'm not letting Andy go anywhere but England." And that was it.
Oh, man. Imagine being a fly in the wall, listening to a phone conversation, the two of them having an argument, McLean and Wallace.
Oh,
that would be, I'd pay good money for that.
That's funny.
But in fairness, I mean, I know he's gone now, Jim and Joe, but Jim was a genius. I mean, I loved him. He was brilliant for me for 2 years.
A great character as well, wasn't he? A great character of Scottish football, Jim McLean.
I mean, he was mad in respect that, God blame me, I saw him bring fully grown men to tears at half-time in certain games. I mean, he never held back. I think in the politically correct world we live in today, Jim might have had a problem. He might have been up before HR every other day, I'll tell you. And that time when he chinned the reporter who was asking him questions, he told him not to ask him. I just thought, the wee man, he better retire, I thought. Take it home.
That's the thing, though. If he's bringing fully grown men to tears, me and Stevie would be fucked.
He'd have no chance, mate.
Andy, see, it's funny, right? Because you are the voice of football to many of us, right? And do you know? I'll tell you what. One of the best. Toll will know this, right? He's a Celtic fan, but see, I love the way this season when Richard Keys brings up the Rangers. A couple of weeks ago when St Mirren beat Celtic, and just hearing you, because we don't get to see enough of you talking about Scottish football this season, it's been brilliant. I mean, what's your thoughts on the Rangers this season?
I think what we've done this season, what's my thoughts? How can anybody think anyone but hugely positive? It's been amazing. Haven't lost a game yet. Could become invincible. I hope that's the case. It would be an amazing way to finish the season. I thought we were hopeless at the weekend, mind you. That's as bad as I've seen us. And lucky not to get beat. I'm really lucky. So if that's as bad as we played and we didn't get beat, then that's all right. But I think what they've done this year, Stephen, Gack, staff, the boys have been sensational. I think the players have been brilliant. I mean, really, really good. I couldn't fault them. And when you think they're doing that with Europe as well, I mean, I was sitting at the beginning of the season thinking, would I be quite happy to get knocked out of Europe? Because this is a big year. Yeah, we're 55 coming up and getting rid of the 10 in a row for them. I thought, maybe we should go to Europe early and then we can maybe concentrate on winning the league.
Yes.
I was all of that. But then as it went on, the more it went on, the more I thought, no, bollocks. This is good for us. Right. This is great to be playing in these competitive games. It should keep us sharp. And I think, I hope I'm not going to say it yet, but we're a long way down the line and not far to go and not many games to win to get over the line. So, and I think they will. And I don't think anyone could turn around and say they haven't deserved it. They've been absolutely fantastic. And that's without a 25 goal a season front man. I mean, it's no happened for everyone else this season, really. No. And we haven't really had, and Jermaine Defoe come in and, with a few. And what they've done is they've shared the load around a lot. And I think that's been terrific. It's been the key to their success, and that they've not relied on one person to get all the goals this year. So it's been
more
really,
like a team.
Toll,
what do you think about that? That was great.
Toll, what are your thoughts on that, my man?
I used to like this guy, by the way.
Andy, I think we could just end the interview there, mate. That's class. Cheers, mate.
Thanks for your time, Andy.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
It's brilliant. But what do you think about Stephen Gerrard? Do you think it'll not be long before clubs down south will be knocking at the door for Stephen Gerrard?
What, I'll tell you this now. He's better hope that Liverpool buck their ideas up.
You really think so, too?
I genuinely do, because he's done his apprenticeship at Rangers now. If Klopp keeps going the way he's going, he'll end up out the door at Liverpool, and that's the man that they'll go for.
Do you think?
I'm telling you.
A couple of things on that. I don't think Liverpool continue to go the way they're going. They're too good to do that, and he's too good a coach to let it happen. I think that's the first thing. So it's been a strange season in England this year. Probably the same as Scotland, but it's been a really strange one with teams having spells and then falling away and then coming back. You know, they've all done it. You know, I think it was December the 16th, which is not so long ago, that Liverpool were top of the league and everyone's saying, well, there they go. They're off and running. No one's going to catch them now. And this is happening. Now everybody's saying about City. You don't know. Wait and see. They're a bit like Rangers City this year. They haven't had a front man. You know, they're scoring goals from everywhere else. And they've had no Aguero. They've had no Jesus to get them 20-odd goals a season. They've done what Rangers have done in many ways. It's almost a mirror image when you look at the amount of goals they've scored from various places. And they've done the same. They've had to do the same. But they might get caught. But I think that if Klopp has a bad season, he's entitled to it. You know what I mean?
He's got credit in the bank there after what he's done for Liverpool.
And they love him, and so they should. He's perfect for that club. I still think it's early for Stephen. And I mean that if he wins a title this year, brilliant. That would be what, his third year?
Third year, mate, yeah. Third year.
So he said 3 years then. Is that enough?
I think he would want a crack at the Champions League.
Yeah, but I think that would be a good thing for him. So, and I don't think he thinks that Klopp's going anywhere in the next couple of years.
Daft, no.
I think this season, at the end of next season, then depending how Liverpool are and how Klopp feels, because they all get a bit burnt out as well, these coaches. So I don't think we have to worry, Chris, the Rangers anyway, at least until the end of next season.
Aye, but do you not think that once Celtic win the league next season, then Gerrard's stock will have gone up?
I thought you were the other guys were the comedians.
Tom, feel free to just go and get the dinner on the new or something.
I know, man. Do you know what? So anyway, what about that telly punditry? That's all right. No,
I love your optimism.
And seriously,
football fans are all about.
Like, when you come in and started doing your punditry on Sky, you changed the game, really, didn't you? If you're being honest with yourself, you did. Nobody was doing what you were doing. Your analysis was second to none and stuff like that. Do you think that you are kind of like the forefather for that? See, when you look at people like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and stuff like that now, do you think that without Andy Gray, you wouldn't have that sort of analysis now?
Well, probably without... I don't like to give them too many plaudits after they sacked me, but I think without Sky Sports and the coverage that they've given, yeah, we wouldn't have had the analysis. If it had carried on just like Match of the Day and the odd live game every now and again, no, it wouldn't have done. There would have been analysis. I mean, I think the forefather of it all I would probably say is Jimmy Hill. I think Jimmy was the first who really went into it in an analytical sense. And I think he was the one who started it. We took it on. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think you're right. We gave them something that no one had ever seen before. Monday Night Football was a groundbreaking show. And I remember Andy Melvin. He's the man responsible. Another Scot, by the way. So we've been influenced a lot. He was our main guy at Sky. He was the one who put it all together. He was our boss. He produced the lot for the first, I don't know, what would have been, 7, 8 years. So he was the one who came to me one day where I used to go and do the games on Monday. We just used to show it, Monday Night Football. And he came to me and he says, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? He said, next week, he says, I want you in the studio. I says, what? He says, remember we were in the Holiday Inn in Glasgow one day? And this is when I was obviously playing for Rangers. And he was working for Scottish Television. And we used to meet, and I used to stay at the Holiday Inn, so we'd meet there. And he was talking to me one day about football. And we had a load of empty bottles of beer, be surprised to hear on the table. I said, the difference between a 4-4-2 and so I just got these bottles in front of me and I started doing this as if the table was a pitch and I was moving them here and I'm doing that. And he logged it away, and this is about 3 or 4 years later. He says, remember that night in Holiday Inn when you were showing me? I said, yeah. I want you to do that on a Monday night. I want you to take that kind of analysis, and I'm going to give you replays. I'm going to give you machines to work. I'm going to give you illustrators to write on. And I'm going, what? I said, so what am I going to get? 2 or 3 months to? No, next week. I went, what? Next week. Next Monday. I said, all right then. And of course, the boot room was another thing that spawned from that, where we used to sit around the boot room table.
Yeah.
That was great. I really did enjoy that part of it as well. Had some great people on there. But I think we started it. But I was lucky. I was the one who was around when the opportunity came. It could have been anybody, but Andy Melvin liked what I'd been doing as when I'd done television bits and pieces. He liked it. He thought I'd be good at it. I was retiring. And he made a play for it, and I thought, well, why not? It's nice to be in at the inception of something, and it was, and I'm not going to sit here and say, they're all twats because of what happened at the end of that. It was a brilliant 20 years. I think we did change it all, and I think that Monday Night Football is just a modern version with more gizmos and more technology. It's the same. It's just a modern version of what we set up, 15, 16 years ago, whatever it was, or longer, 26 years ago, whatever it was. So, yeah, but I was lucky. I was there and I was asked to do it and I was given the tools to do it. And I worked with great people who were football fans. Andy Melvin, mad football fan. Martin Tyler, football fan. Richard Keys, football fan. David Livingston at the time, a reporter, another jock, football fan. Jeff Shreves, who subsequently came on and did that, football fan. These people loved the game. So they were kind of giving us the game. And if we'd have messed it up, who knows where football would have been, but we didn't. We didn't mess it up. And it just, who would have thought way back then that we would, when we paid, I think, 340 million, I think it was for 4 years, that they'd be paying 3.1 billion.
Aye. Mental.
Contract.
You're the catalyst for all this, for all these players getting the wages. It's really, when you think about it, that's played a big, big part in how the Premier League is, people view it as a number one league.
I wish you took royalties instead of a paycheck.
Right. Shares in the company might have been all right as well, I guess.
What about standout moments when you were at Sky then, Andy, in terms of games that you commentated on?
Some wonderful games. That I've always said, people say, what was the best game you ever did at when you were working there? Without a shadow of a doubt, mid-90s. Keegan.
Newcastle, Liverpool.
Newcastle, go to Liverpool.
Aye.
There at the Skin.
Stan Collymore.
Aye, and it was a Wednesday night, and the pitch was awful. But the quality of the football and the pace of it, when people talk about the pace now, is breathtaking. My God. Have a look at that game again and see the.
Was it 4 each or something? Is that what that was? That game?
Is it what?
Was it the 4 each game? 4-3. Aye. 4-3. They released a video. I remember having that as a boy. That was brilliant.
Keegan went through every emotion that was possible.
There's a goal in the first minute, a winner in the last minute, and 5 brilliant goals in between. It was breathtaking. It was unbelievable. That's the best game I did, because that never let up. You get some games where you maybe don't have a great first half and it's a brilliant second half and a great ending. But that game started in the first minute with a goal and just kept going for 90 minutes. It was like a runaway train and you couldn't stop it. And it was brilliant. It was so many good players on the pitch.
That's what I was going to say. The players, like you had Ginola and Asprilla and Robbie Fowler, Collymore and
John Barnes.
That's what I was going to say as well. John Barnes, for me, was the man of the match that night. He was excellent.
It's almost like nowadays, like I was talking, me and my mates in a group chat the other day were talking, and it was Super Sunday. A lot of Super Sunday games come on now, and when you think back to the Newcastle Liverpool game you're talking about there, it's almost as if there's too much pressure in the games now that the games become a bit an anticlimax at times. Do you know what I mean? The Super Sunday games where there's too much at stake, or I don't know. Is it because there's too much money in the game? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes the games are pumped up so much with Sky when the actual game comes.
Are we talking about Arsenal Man United here, mate?
Oh man, God.
You can pick out a million games. I mean, I see basically 380 games a year, right?
Aye.
I watch most of them because even on a Saturday when we are doing the game, we have 5 screens in front of us with our other games on. And I do think you're right in respect. I do think football's changed from the early time in the Premier League. Listen, a lot of people say it's for the better. I'm not so sure because I think that the way it's changed, and you guys might like it, and that's fine. But I always watched football, and I played football, so there were chances created and saves being made and excitement in penalty areas. Nothing bores me more than a game, and I've seen plenty of them down the years, in recent years, where one team has 1,000 passes, another team has 700 passes, and we've had about 4 shots each.
Aye.
And people go, wow, what a great technical game that was. And I go, actually, no. And I don't think the majority of a lot of my football fans think that's the right way. People going about Pep Guardiola, they play football the right way. Sorry, it's football. There isn't a right way, there isn't a wrong way. There are various ways, and I think if we all start playing football the right way, we'll be bored rigid. We'll be fucking bored rigid. I mean that. I mean, when I see goalkeepers rolling the ball back from a 6-yard box to a defender stood on the goal line to get an attack started, I think to myself, fucking hell, he must be good. These must be a good team. I get that some teams want to play like that, but if every team does that, I get bored. I really get bored. I love to see a game where there's. I tell you why. And I hate to say this as an Evertonian as well as a Ranger. That's why in the last few years, Liverpool have been so good and good to watch. Because their football is high octane. Their football isn't... I mean, they got caught the other night messing about at the back and they paid for it when they got beat with City. I don't know what they're trying to do. Their football will always be get through the lines quickly, move up the park, get the ball to the front three, because we've got the best front three in Europe, probably. So why do we want the ball in our back 4? When I've got Firmino, Salah and Mane at the top end of the pitch. And they've been great to watch. That's why I've loved Leeds so much this year.
They are so exciting to watch.
They're like a throwback. People will go, yeah, but look at the goals you can see. So what?
They're a breath of fresh air.
Leeds are my English team.
They try and go and win a game. They go forward. They throw men forward. It's been like a breath of fresh air. And then we go, yeah, but they'll never win it. They're not there to win anything. Of course, they're not going to win it at the moment because they're certainly going to win the league. But as far as I can see, in the last 3 or 4 years, there's only 2 teams could win the league. And that's been the 2 that have won it. So what they've brought is a refreshing brand of football. I mean, I hate when I see bottom 6 clubs. They're playing in the bottom 6 or the bottom 8, and they're passing the ball about the penalty area, their own penalty area, across the back, and then back across the back. I'm thinking, what the fuck? You're in the bottom 6. Any chance you can get the ball forward and maybe score a goal or 2. So the game's changed, and I don't know why. I think a lot of foreign coaches in the game has definitely influenced that. Back in the early 90s and mid-90s, late 90s, there were very few foreign coaches. Now, there are very few British coaches. But I think we're getting a few back in, and it'll be interesting to see.
What do you think of VAR, Andy?
Hate it.
Aye.
Hate it.
That's another part. I think it's taken away, I don't know, the natural excitement of games. Do you know what I mean? Where a player sometimes scores a goal and he can't celebrate and relax because he's wondering, was I offside there? Is there going to be VAR here? Do you know what I mean? So stuff like that, I think, is ruining the game as well.
Can't celebrate. I would like to know what it's given us. I said at the time, and I've been consistent from day one. I think it was a bad idea. Maybe it was well meant, but it was never going to work. Never going to, they say, well, we're offside. Offside. Well, no, this game is not meant to be microscopically analysed like offside. So he's 2 centimetres offside. Let's disallow the goal. Oh, that's a fucking great idea, that is. Disallowing a goal that fans want to come in. We all go to football, we see
entertainment.
Goals, and we're trying to do everything we can with VAR not to give a goal. And at the end of the day, what we've given these people is a kind of power they shouldn't have.
Aye, exactly.
Honestly, they shouldn't have it. We've now got, they say, well, it's black and white. No, it's not. It's still subjective. You know, there's a guy sitting in Stockley Park, 100 miles away from the game, who's reffing the game, who's reffing the big decision, who's making the big decision. Not the guy on the pitch, the one in Stockley Park. You can change a decision in a football match. I mean, the one at Fulham and the guy gets sent off at the weekend, that was just one.
Oh, the West Ham and Fulham, that was ridiculous. That was crazy.
I'm watching Southampton against Villa, I know, and they're microscopic. Was it a penalty? Yeah, it was a penalty. Matt Cash handled the ball. It was going on target. It's a penalty. It brushed his thigh. So what? It's a penalty. You know, Danny Ings was half a heel offside. Come on. Stop disallowing goals for things that are an inch or a centimetre. We don't care as fans. We just want to see goals. You don't care. If he's offside, we can see that on a replay without lines, without anything. And that's what it should be. If it's going to be used, let's use it at that. Is he offside? Yeah, he is. If it's touch and go, it's a goal. We want to see goals. I've never liked it. I've never been a fan. Sadly, it's here to stay. But what I have noticed this year more than ever is more and more people who were for it
are now against it.
Yeah.
Aye, totally.
And I think if you did a straw poll of Premier League players, let's say there's 3,000 of them, you did. I bet you 2,500 at least don't like it. I just think players hate it. You know, they do things and they score a goal and they run the boot and then they go, hold on.
That's what I was going to say as well. It's they allow them to celebrate the goal. If the stadium was full, the fans would be celebrating the goal, and then just a deflation. But I was watching Paul Merson at the weekend, and he says that it's as if they've brought it in to stop goals from being scored.
That's what it's like.
You know what I mean? And it's like you touched on it there as well, Andy. There's a lot of times I think that it's good, see, especially for tackles and stuff like that.
No, it's not. I disagree.
You not think so?
No, I disagree. And I'll tell you why I disagree. I disagree because the Souček one at the weekend's a classic example. The trouble with VAR and tackles is, and having been there, is that you can commit yourself to a tackle, a genuine, honest tackle, and be a fraction late in real time. Fraction late. And the boy just nicks the ball away from me. And your boot comes down on his. And if you run that in super slow motion, you go, oh shit, that's a bad tackle. But if you run it in normal speed, you think, oh, he's a bit unlucky there. He's made a genuine attempt for the ball. So I think super slow motion is another thing that makes tackles look far worse than they are. I mean, the boy Souček, he's trying to get his arm out the way. He's got to fuck off. And he catches him in slow motion. They're saying, oh.
Aye.
It's calculated.
It was an outrageous decision, that. It was a terrible decision.
Aye, the referee ended up getting death threats and a lot, did he not? Souček had to release a statement.
We don't want that. I was reading somebody in the Mail, Matt Samuel, in the Mail yesterday, I think. As he said, no one wants to see that. He said, but I guarantee the way to stop that would be to take the PlayStations off them. I mean, there is a good, I mean, the ones who are doing that death threats are probably kids and idiots, keyboard warriors, as we call them, I think.
Definitely.
So,
but Andy, you're talking about being an Evertonian. What about Carlo Ancelotti? What do you think?
I think it was a great appointment. I really do. I said at the time, because you never know when people get to, what is he, 60s? In his 60s, Carlo? I think he must be, aye.
I
think he is. So if somebody gets to their 60s and has coached all over the world, but never in England, I kind of think, right, I love him. But the fact he's one of the best coaches in the world. If you look at his CV, when they talk about great coaches, they go Guardiola, Mourinho, Allegri, all these, Saki. They don't mention him. And yet, look at his record. It's sensational, wherever he's been. And I think that, I said, if he's got his mojo and he still wants to do it, then Everton have got a great coach. Still believe that, because Everton are still a bit away from where he would like them to be. They're a bit, not freaky, that's the wrong word. They're a bit inconsistent. You know, they're definitely a good side when the best 11's out there. But when certain players are not quite clicking, they kind of struggle a wee bit. But the fact of the matter is, if they win the games in hand they've got in the league, they'll go into the top four. And if they could finish in the top six at worst, that would be a fantastic first season for Ancelotti.
As a striker yourself, Andy, how highly do you rate Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
I think he's got a way to go still. I always backed him last year before he started scoring because I could see a lot of good things in him. He probably, I always said, if I was coaching him, I would tell him not to run about as much. I would have told him, you know, I don't want you running wide and chasing fullbacks and when you don't need to. I don't want you sprinting out there all the time. I want you to play more in the width of the penalty area. And I want, when our ball comes into the area, I want you in there. And I think he's told him that, Ancelotti, because what I read Dominic saying is that the gaffer's asked me to play more in the penalty area. If you look at the amount of tap-ins he's had this year, in the 6-yard box and around the 6-yard box, it's vastly improved than what he's had before. That helps him enormously. So I think he's getting better, and he's got to keep knowing that there's plenty of room for improvement. And I think with the people at the club, he will. I think Big Duncan will make sure his feet stay in the ground, and that's the only thing I can see that would stop him, because he's got the talent. He's quick. He's got great movement. He's tall. He can head the ball. So the boy's got a real chance, and I'm delighted he's had a good season. He had a little wobble, as everyone does. No one's perfect. But then he scored in the last couple of games as well, so that will help him. But no, I think Everton have needed somebody like that.
Andy, just before we go, have you got any opinions on Scotland, how they're going to fare against England in the Euros this year?
Oh, God, I don't know. What do I think about Scotland? I just think that we've a lot of good players, right? I mean, if you look at us now, we probably have more players playing Premier League football now than we've had for 10 years. You know, I can remember the times where it used to be Darren Fletcher, that was it. It would come up to the Premier League.
Don Hutchison and Darren Fletcher on it.
Yeah, that was it. That was now we've got a host bar, and I think we're strong. We're certainly strong in the midfield area. We know that. I think we really are. I don't know how good we are at the back. We're centre backs. I don't know. I don't know if we've got a dominant one yet. Boys will see more of them than I do, the Scottish boys. But I don't get the impression that we're kind of watertight there. And, you know, if we could find a front man or a couple who could get his goals at this level, then that's the big thing.
So Andy, you were telling us, obviously with a wee bit for Patreon, you can find that if you sign up within the teammates thing, but you're telling us, we wanted you to keep it for the main show, a wee story about Super Ali. It's me and Bob's hero. He's an absolute hero.
Oh, he's a legend. I love Coisty, one of my favourite people. No, it was funny because it was years ago when I was working at Sky, and I was coming back on a Sunday night from a game, a 4 o'clock kickoff, so it would have been a night game, a Sunday night game in Scotland, and he was at Kilmarnock. Right? It was his time at Kilmarnock.
Right.
So I'm listening to 5 Live or something like that. I'm coming back in the car, and it was like the commentator was almost Highland in his commentary. The little Highland lilt, as my mother comes from Lewis, I know. So they're sitting there and they're going, and these commentators going, well, Rangers are struggling tonight, of course, but I'm looking to the bench and oh, yes, Rangers are about to make a change. Alistair McCoist is coming off the bench. He's taking off his tracksuit. Dear, who's been eating all the pies? It crashed my car. Honestly. So I phoned Coisty right then and then. I knew he was working, and I said, Coisty, you've just got battered by this commentator. He phoned me back. Who was it? I said,
brilliant. He's some guy, Coisty, buddy. He's doing well, but back in the media and all that, away from management.
He's doing well. He's got more jobs than Dougie Donnelly now, and that.
Aye, but his hair's not as nice.
I texted him the other week. I said, who are you working for now? For God's sake.
He's everyone.
Listen, if he lost 90% of his jobs, it would solve the unemployment crisis in Scotland. God almighty. Yes, you watch Talk Sport, BBC 5 Live, Sky, BT.
We need to get him in the jungle. He needs to get in the jungle, man.
Oh, he should go in the jungle.
Oh,
yeah.
he would
win that.
He would ghost it.
Aye.
Well, he'd be good in there. He'd be good in there. Definitely be good in there.
Andy, thanks very much for that. At the end of our show each week, we do a 90-second Scottish football, general football quiz. To test your knowledge. Now, you seem like a knowledgeable character, I'll be honest with you. We've got quite a few good names on the leaderboard just now. We've got at the top with 15 points, we've got John Sutton and Chick Young. They're drawn with each other. Then we've got Mark Wilson, Keith Lasley tucked in behind them with 14. Then we've got Kenny Duker and Kevin Harper, who are just behind them with 13. Other selected scores include Derek Ray, a fellow FIFA commentator. He's got 11. Murdo McLeod on 10, Pat Nevin on 6, and at the bottom it's a tie between Peter Lovenkrands, Big Derek Johnson, Craig Levine, and Mixu Patalainen.
Right, I'll be doing with them. Big Ba. Is Big Ba doing it at the bottom? I'll be giving him a ring shortly.
Right, so is that's who you want to beat then, aye?
Well, no, I'd just be happy to get it. What's their score?
They've got 4.
Yeah, 3.
3. Right.
3. Good.
You should beat that.
Yeah, I might get 3. Aye.
Right. So I'm going to ask you these questions. You get 90 seconds. You're not allowed to pass. You're not allowed to pass. Right. You've got to give an answer. No, it doesn't need to be the right answer.
Oh, right, got you.
But you've got to give an answer. All right.
Yeah, got you.
So, John, if we get 90 seconds on the clock.
We certainly have.
Right.
Right, Andy.
Give us an extra bit. Go on, we're good lads. Right.
Your 90 seconds start now. Which club are nicknamed the Honest Men?
It's somebody in Scotland. St
Johnson.
St Johnson.
Right, who are the only club in Scotland with a J in their name?
St Johnson.
In alphabetical order, who comes first of the teams in the Scottish Premier League?
Alphabetical order, Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen.
In what year did you get your first Scotland cap?
77.
Who have Celtic signed John Joe Kenny from?
Everton.
Curtis Main left Aberdeen to join which club?
Real Madrid.
Who has just been appointed as Kilmarnock manager?
Pep Guardiola.
How many Scottish managers are there in the English Premier League?
1.
How many goals did you score for Dundee United?
Hundreds.
And what league?
No, hold on, I was only joking. I would say 57.
And what league do Cowdenbeath play?
2nd.
David Hopkin is the current manager of which Scottish Championship side?
I don't even know who's in the Championship. Dundee.
Graham Dorrans is currently playing with which Aussie side?
Time.
Oh, let him answer it, though. Let him answer it.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Yes.
He's playing with Aussie League side, A-League. Adelaide.
I'll tell you what. It looks like you've avoided the bottom.
Aye, it does. I would say so. Aye.
Right, we'll go through your wrong answers, Andy. The Honest Men are Ayr United.
That's it.
Your first Scotland cap we've got written down here 1975.
I must have been better than I thought.
Curtis Main didn't go to Real Madrid. He went to Shrewsbury.
Close. Close.
That was close.
Kilmarnock have just appointed Tommy Wright as their manager. You got 46 goals according to Wikipedia for Dundee United, Andy.
Yeah, I knew
Andy knows better.
Right,
it was hundreds.
We'll give him a point.
Did you include my cup goals as well there?
No, it did not. Do you know what? It doesn't. That's the thing.
At Disney.
So Andy's right there. Andy gets a point.
If you said league goals, I would definitely gone in the 40s.
Right, okay. What league do Cowdenbeath play? I'll give you that one. It's League 2, so second division. I'll give you that.
I said 2.
You got that one right.
Said second league, did you know?
I did guess it.
I said League 2.
Aye.
There we go.
David Hopkins, the manager of Morton, and Graham Dorrans is currently playing with Western Sydney Wanderers. You got 6, Andy.
Decent, Andy.
Getting
there we go. So that puts you on a par with Pat Nevin.
Take a bow, son.
Take a bow, Andy. Take a bow.
If I'm in a par with the Guardian reading Pat Nevin, then I'm right. I'm okay there. Don't worry about that.
Hey, John, know what we should do? See, just for a wee clip at the start of the show, something, get him to say Football Daft, take a bow or something like that. Aye, we should definitely get that, man.
Well, welcome to Football Daft, take a bow. Will you say that for his
Aye. Right, welcome to Football Daft. And all I've got to say to you guys is, take a bow, guys. Take a bow.
Yes! Brilliant.
Take a bow, Toots.
Take a
bow. How good was that?
Do you know what? You have took my mind off all my sore joints.
Your injuries.
I tell you what a fucking... I've really enjoyed this today, lads, I must admit.
I just want at the end of the show, John, just to make sure we get some credits up, just saying dedicated to Chris Toll.
I'm not deed, mate.
No, right.
Dedicated.
No, you're not deed, but it sounds like you're...
A part of
suffering.
you died, Toll. A part of you died.
Maybe John probably better. He probably might start off making a wee kind of best-of music video, and then maybe getting a bit of fucking...
just in case.
Creed, a wee kind of Creed song with a...
Hello, my friend, we'll meet again.
Again, amid the sound of something, yeah. He's like, take the John Creed off you.
No, listen, can you get Barry to sing it?
What?
Can you get Barry to sing that? If
Barry.
That's happened to me.
This one's for you, Chris.
Hope you get well soon. Honestly, live shows, if we're ever going to get there, right, I want Barry and I want Andy Gray on stage.
100%. At the same time.
Barry, Andy Gray, man, and fucking Mickey Weir or something like that, no, man, because he has been, do you know what I mean? He's been somebody we mention every week.
It's like, he's part of the journey.
He's part of the journey, man.
Part of the journey. It's like, when Rangers win 55, I'm still going to remember Emile St. Clair.
Guy. You're right, mate, aye.
Part of the journey.
Aye, and Philip Villas-Boas.
It was a very long day that day. I don't know what I was doing. Philip Villas-Boas. I had my hands up. I did say I didn't think I did, but so you've got my house now, too. I bet you my mortgage.
Do you know what? Fuck it. You can keep it, mate. You can keep it. Sorry.
Anyway, man, it's been good seeing you.
Aye, honestly,
look after yourselves.
Honestly, take care. Be careful out there because it is very testing conditions out there, as Chris told.
They're very tricky.
Very tricky. So walking your dog, be careful, and hopefully your neighbours look out for you the way Chris Toll's neighbour looked out for him.
Got to give a shout out, Giz, Alan Gilmore. You saved the day, my man. Thank you.
Shout out to Giz.
Shout out to Giz.
All the best, Giz.
All the best, Giz.
Audio Frontier.